Spartans never retreat. Spartans never surrender. And the same goes for Kilt-Men. We don't retreat, we don't surrender, and we don't do hoovering either. No way. Especially not when the house is absolutely festooned with husky fare. Husky dogs, hot summer days. It ain't a good combination, really. So, folks, how are we all? Hope we're doing very well. Do forgive the sort of flashing lights which are going past me here. It's because traffic and the glint of the sun off the bonnets of these hot cars is just adding a little bit of ambience to the place. But anyway, as some of you will know, we have been doing a lot of work in the Kilt Mansion. Trying to make space, trying to move stuff around, create new environments. The conservatory, as disastrous as its roof may be, has now served as a new studio. Where we are right now, the brand new bar. Well, it's not brand new, it's from the 18th century, but you know what I mean. This is a whole new location as well. And of course, we're now working on the attic, a huge attic, and that's going to take a long time to sort that out. But I did a video up there, I showed you some rare artifacts which had been unearthed. And this is what I'm getting to. I've been trying to find a few things lately because I covered 300, the film 300. Over yonder, you will see King Leonidas' helmet, or rather a very good reproduction of it, of the Corinthian helmet as worn by the Greeks and especially the Spartans. I covered King Leonidas' sword as well. I got a reproduction sword of that. So I've done a few things I've covered, Tyler Bates's controversial score for the film. But all the while, there was a couple of things I was dying to show you, but I couldn't find them. And I thought, they've slipped through the cracks. They've gone into the ghostly rafters of the mansion. The spiders up in the attic have devoured them. The spook, which is in residence here and never seems to like anyone changing rooms around. Maybe that's took him, who knows. But anyway, half an hour ago, Mrs. Kilt-Man goes, those 300 figures? And I went, how many? She went, those 300 figures you were looking for? I said, yeah. She goes, I found them. I said, come on now. You don't even know what I'm talking about. You haven't got a clue what 300 is. She said, no, that's that King Leonidas. They don't wear much. They all die. Yeah, that's the one. You found them, you say? Lead on, show me. So she did. She led on. She showed me. And she'd found them. Fucking hell. Mrs. Kilt-Man saved the day again. And now I'm going to show you. Now, even though they've been found, as is always the case, these guys came with accessories. And there's a couple of things which still haven't come to light. They will be there. I mean, I've got boxes up there which are housing literally thousands of Lord of the Rings figures of varying sizes and different ranges. And rattling around in the bottom of those boxes is enough plastic weaponry to arm a small nation. So they're going to be there somewhere. But anyway, let's get on and show you. First of all, let's go for the guy that betrayed them all, the deformed hunchback, Ephialtes, who I think was played by an actor called Andrew Tiernan under heavy prosthetic makeup. Here he is! Oh, he's doubled over because he has this humongous mutated hunchback. Oh, look at that. Still got a bit of Spartan muscle on him though. Look, he's still pretty well defined. There he is. Now, yes, I'm sorry, that's not his most pleasing of positions to be in. Although I don't know. I haven't asked him personally. But yeah, he's got the leather panties on. He's got his sandals. He's got his leg greaves on his arms. And of course his Spartan cape, which is beautifully weathered and textured as well. He's been wearing that day in, day out, and he's dragged it all over the place. Now this is the guy that in the film he betrays the 300. He says to Xerxes and the Persian army, he explains the little hidden goat path which are taken round the back of the hot gates at Thermopylae to come back behind the Spartans and outflank them, surround them. game over. In reality, that did happen, and a goat herder, it isn't recorded whether he had any deformities or not, but you know, hey, they're trying to demonise him, aren't they? Ephialtes, and probably quite a few other people as well, who were all goat herders, did give the game away, because they saw the might of the Persian hordes there, the punitive squad of Spartans, not going to hold them back. And they've also been told and learned that when the Persians overran every other country before they got to Greece, that they're not that bad, really. You know, as long as you pledge allegiance to Xerxes, you know, and answer his call to arms if need be, you'll prosper. So they're thinking, well, what's so bad? So they give the game away. But in the film, it all comes down to him, and you feel sorry for him because he's actually, you know, he feels betrayed by Leonidas because he's born deformed. The Spartans don't like that, so they cast the babies aside to die. Only the fit and the strong are allowed a chance. And but his father takes pity on him, and he's a Spartan warrior, but they go off and hide in the hills, and he brings him up, and he wants to fight. He wears his old father's cape. He has his father's helmet as well, and his weapons. But Leonidas says, you can't fight with me though. You know, you can tend the wounded and bring them water, drag the bodies off the battlefield, but there's no place for you in the ranks, in the phalanx, so knock on at him. Leonidas, you are wrong. And he goes and betrays them. But that is a fabulous reproduction there. Anyone who's into Friday the 13th will recognise that particular face, because it's very similar to Jason from part 3 onwards, until he goes into space and then goes to hell and gets all completely mangled up and all that. But that is a good version of Jason Voorhees as well. But it's not. It's Ephialtes, not Voorhees. Now, he clearly had one of the spears. Now, I think in reality the spears were 8 foot long, some 8 foot, some 6 foot, and some shorter, which were the javelins for throwing. But he came with what to scale would be the 8 foot spear, and I think he clipped it together, and that must be around somewhere, but he clearly was holding that at some point. And if you look as well, the other hand has got that huge elongated weird fingers. Oh, it's almost like American Werewolf, isn't it? You know, it's like where David Orton's like, and his hand stretches out. But yeah, that's a really good, well-detailed figure. As I say, if anything, they seem to have downplayed the enormity of his deformity, because his back really is huge and swollen, and that's, I think, toned down a little bit there, but it's still very, very good. So, who next? This guy's missing a weapon. Damn it! Oh, look at this! It's one of the Immortals doing river dance. Potato. Look at that. Now these guys, the Immortals, these are the in the film they're depicted as they've got teeth filed down to fangs. They're bestial. They have claws. They have an extra sort of toe going on there, as you can see there. All very strange and bestial. But in reality, the 300 did exist. The Immortals did exist, but they were Xerxes' elite, his shock troops, his guerrilla forces, and they were called the Immortals not because they were immortal, but enemies that fought against them would always say that you killed one and he'd be replaced straight away. So the effect on the battlefield was like, just these guys can't die. There's never any less of them. So that's why they got called the Immortals. The film obviously depicts them as monsters, and they are pretty terrifying, but they're no match for the Spartans, who kick their asses good style. But look at the detail here on the sort of tribal robes. Also a samurai kind of feel to it as well, linked with, you know, a Middle Eastern flavour with the turban and that weird emotionless, you know, chrome face. Absolutely amazing. The scabbard on his back there betrays the fact that, yes, he's missing a bloody sword. That'll be up there somewhere. And I think, in fact, he had two. I think there was two swords there. And there's only one scabbard, but in the film, some of them do have double scabbards and two swords. And I'm sure he carried, if not two swords, then a sword and a knife. But I'll find them. But yeah, he's amazing. beautifully designed, beautifully detailed. There is some, articulateness to these, but they basically are in a pretty rigid stance. The best one, of course, and the rarest one, because I've now seen that this is going for like way over £100 if you can find them. By the way, it was Neca who made these. Neca made one of the Spartan helmets, which I think I did show you, limited edition. Not that. That's a real one. The Neca one was pretty decent. Look at this. But Neca made the figures too. Look. It's King Leonidas. It's Gerard Butler. King Gerard Butler. How can you be a king and a butler all at the same time? In Sparta, apparently you can. Look at that helmet. The horsehair plume. Look at this. His crest. The battle damage on the bronze effect is tremendous. Look at the face behind it. Look at the eyes. Look at the abs, for God's sake. And in the film, of course, a lot of them did have the floaty CGI abs, but many of them really did have, they really trained. They trained for a hell of a long time before making the movie. But look at that. It's a really good version, really good depiction of him. The sword is very accurate to what you see in the movie, which is a fantastical version of the real sort of Greek Xyphos blade, but still beautiful. The shield with the Spartan emblem. Again, the chips and dents and pot marks, pitted surface of the bronze inside. The leather sleeve, take hold of it. The weathering on the cape, again, fabulous stuff. And you may notice he's got kind of reinforced sandals, and I'm pleased about that because I've done cosplay as Leonidas, and I didn't want to wear sandals. I have a pathological hatred of sandals. Anything that shows off men's fucking big sausage meat toes splayed out there. When I go to hot places on holiday, I wear boots. Boots, y'all. So, sandals ain't my thing. But I like the fact that he's kind of got a bit more support going on there. And you can compensate with, a great bit of bronze armour on your shin bone as well. No one's going to skit your fungal toes when you walk around like that. And he's got the regulation leather panties on as well. But that is a beautiful figure. I think he's complete. I don't think there's anything else that he had. By the way, the scabbard is there as well for his sword. And his sword does go into it. You can take the sword out and put it in there. But who's going to do that? He's ready for battle. It's a good pose. There's some articulacy. What is the word for that? He is articulated slightly, but not to any great degree, because I think Neca wanted these in particular poses. There is another figure which I've got from this, which I have a memory of actually losing at the time as well when I first got them all. She just disappeared. It was Queen Gorgo, played by Lena Headey in the movie, his missus, and a very nice figure it was too. But that's gone. But I remember that going a long time ago, way back in the 2000s, the early 2000s when the film came out. So God knows when that went. But I was searching for these and I couldn't find them anywhere. And in one of those little taunting things that maybe the mansion spook did on purpose, I did find some remnants of them. Not the figures, not the weapons. Oh, no. Look what I found. Because a lot of figures come with a lot of these sort of deluxe ones come with variations as well on the heads. And bizarrely enough, this was the other day, I thought, I found them in a bag. And there was 3 heads. It was their 3 alternate heads. And I thought, well, I found the heads that were never used, but the figures have gone. And I just thought, that's just taking the piss, that, isn't it? But once again, in order, we have the alternate head for Ephialtes. And if you look, there's a bit more of he's a bit less happy on this one. You can't exactly say he's over the moon on that one, but, you know, he's a bit angry. His teeth are bared. There's a bit more of a snarl going on. Can you see? The scar across his forehead is a bit more livid. But yeah, it's definitely a slight variation. He just unclipped the head and snapped the new one on. Now, in the film with the Immortals on their big attack, their nighttime attack, David Wenham, who plays Sartos, something like that, something Greek that ends in os, and he's one of Leonidas's, you know, best men, you know, but he loses an eye during that battle, but, you know, the gods saw fit to bless me with another, you know, so don't worry about me, sire, I can fight on. No, when they know that the game is up, they've only got one last possible stand, Leonidas orders him to go back to Sparta and to tell the Spartans and to tell everybody what the Spartans did there, and to rally, you know, all of the Greek city-states to fight the Persian hordes, which is what in reality did happen. Their glory, that final last stand, and the heroism they showed there is what brought together all these varying Greek states to fight as one. But in that battle, David Wenham's character smacks the faceplate off an Immortal to reveal what lies beneath. And it is in the film's true style of Frank Miller from his epic graphic novel 300. They are literally monsters. Their teeth, I don't know if you can see it there, it looks a bit blurred, but their teeth are filed down to fangs. There is blood and all sorts, a desiccated, you know, visage, angry, very angry, ghoulish eyes. It's very definitely inhuman. I don't know if you can make out the hooked nose there. They are hideous to behold. One look at that, you know why they're wearing a mask. So there's his alternate head. And you have one for Leonidas as well. And it's a very kingly, noble head this time. Son helmet, revealing that very angular beard, showing his little ponytail at the back there, and his his hair's tied into a band around the top there as well. You know, there's a fair bit of coiffeuring taking place, and the Spartan warriors did actually they grew their hair long, and they would spend time before a battle grooming and oiling their hair. It was all part of this vanity to create an aura of super strength, and we look great, we are great, you know, we're unbeatable, and that's what they did. So there you go. Very, very good. So that's Leonidas' alternate head. The Queen Gorgo figure, I cannot remember what her alternate head was. Probably one pouting like that, you know. Spartan, come back with your shield, or on it. And in reality, poor Leonidas didn't come back on his shield or with it. He didn't come back at all. He was beheaded. So what you could do, you could actually put that on a little spike, and hold it there. Because in reality, they did do that. They beheaded Leonidas and they crucified his body. And it was, you know, look, we've defeated him. But Xerxes realised that, you know, his own troops, when they marched past, couldn't look at the severed head of Leonidas. They were afraid. And he realised, he had a terrible dream where he realised what he'd done to Leonidas, and this could be his own downfall. He's betrayed a fellow brave man, a man of honour, of nobility, and he's, you know, desecrated the body like that. So he was very, very upset that he allowed his troops to do it. But he had done it, so you could actually reenact that. A little General Butler, head on a spike. So yeah, as I say, there's one figure missing. This was series 1. I don't remember if a series 2 came out of the figures. It may well have done, but I don't remember. And then, of course, you had 300 Rise of an Empire. I'm pretty certain the series of figures came out for that too, although I didn't get them. But I do remember, like, Eva Green's Artemisia, who was Xerxes' female warlord, who existed as well. And I'm sure there was a figure of her. So, but there you go, folks. Another little trip down memory lane. Another little find in the archives. That is awesome though, isn't it? That, look at him. Come on, make amends now. Fight back to back. Come on, fight back to hunchback. One day I'm going to get Tony Robinson and Time Team to come here and do a dig, because God knows what treasures are going to be unearthed. It's just never ending. But there you go. Thought I'd show you these, and if you've got, this should prompt you. Those of you who've got kids, and the kids have now grown a bit older, and loads of things that you bought are all in boxes up in the attic, in the loft, wherever. Go and have a look. I bet you this. If you're watching my videos, then you have at least a passing interest in cult merchandise and movies. So and their offshoots and spin-offs. So have a little look around, and you may find some rare Jack Sparrow figure. I know I have. And you'll see that one day. But anyway, for now, dig around. See what you come up with. Let us know. But there's what's left of my 300 figures. I didn't have 300, I only had 4, but there you go. And I will find the weaponry for these guys will be around. I'm just wondering if he had a shield as well. I don't remember if he had the shield, although it's a pretty key part of his character, so I would have thought there was. Folks, in the meantime and the in-between time, please take it easy, be happy, be healthy. And should you find yourself, defending a very narrow passageway, do watch out for pesky hunchbacks coming round behind you. You can't trust them. You just can't trust them. In the meantime and in between time, keep it kilted, keep it Celtic. Don't do any hoovering. Just drink whiskey. And I'm going to see you all later for Sparta.